Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into something really quite different.
Definitely different.
We've got excerpts from a YouTube transcript. Prydzie oszu moje potusia wijna uwo. It's from the channel Jasnowidz Krzysztof Jackowski official.
Right, so we're talking about predictions from a self-proclaimed clairvoyant.
Exactly. Not your standard analysis. It's a unique lens on what might be coming. Our goal here is really to unpack these visions, see what insights are there, maybe some surprising bits. Okay, let's dive into this very interesting collection of predictions. It's certainly aiming to peer into the future.
And I think it's really important right up front to frame what we're doing here.
Good point.
What's fascinating is how these visions try to map out potential futures. It gives us a unique way to think about the world, doesn't it?
It does.
But our job isn't to, endorse these predictions or check if they're accurate. It's more about exploring the ideas themselves. What's being claimed? What might the implications be if people believe this?
So understanding the message, not validating the source.
Precisely. It's about engaging critically with different viewpoints, even, unusual ones like this. It helps broaden our understanding of the narratives out there. We're looking at what's in the source, seeing what stands out.
Okay, got it. So where do we start? I think the Polish political landscape is where it gets really interesting first.
Yes, the source definitely focuses heavily there.
It predicts, and this is quite specific, a strange event before the presidential inauguration of someone called Nawrocki. He's positioned as a future leader, it seems.
Strange event.
Yeah, and tied to that, possibly, is a motion in the Sejm, that's the Polish parliament, to recall or change the Sejm Marshal, specifically names Hołownia.
So suggesting Hołownia's position, his high office, might be shaky.
That's the implication. Shaken is the word used, I think.
And the political turbulence doesn't end there, according to this vision.
No, it seems to ramp up.
The source suggests the current ruling coalition. It might not totally break up, but it's heading for a very serious crack. A snap, even.
A snap. Wow. And this is before this Nawrocki figure's inaugurated.
Yes, exactly. Described as the most serious crack since they took power. So it points to some major internal stress within the government.
That's a strong image, a serious crack. And it gets more specific about the leadership, right? After Nawrocki supposedly wins.
Right. After the predicted win, the vision says it's going to be a very bad time for Tusk, the current prime minister.
How bad?
Well, it explicitly states Tusk will not last until November as prime minister.
That is incredibly specific and bold.
It really is. And the source gives a reason, too. It says this happens because 3 small parties will leave the coalition.
So the coalition loses its majority.
Presumably. Leading Tusk to resign, believing he just can't form a government anymore. What's compelling here isn't just the prediction itself. It's how it seems to tap into perhaps existing anxieties, maybe anxieties within parts of the Polish public about how stable the coalition is, the potential for sudden shifts. The clairvoyant's vision channels that.
That makes sense. Okay, so we've definitely unpacked a lot about this predicted political turmoil in Poland. But the visions don't just stay within the government buildings, do they?
No, they move into other areas that are, frankly, quite unsettling. If we sort of link this to the bigger picture, the source starts talking about things that raise serious questions about potential widespread disruption.
Disruption like what?
It describes these strange, round, large objects made of concrete or sheet metal, and they're connected somehow to industry or industrial firms.
Okay, what happens to them?
They explode or burn. It's quite a disturbing image.
And this is predicted for Poland, these explosions or fires.
It suggests Poland, yes. Could be several objects, maybe just one or a few. It's a bit vague on the number. But the key prediction is that sabotage will become obvious.
Obvious. Implying it's happening already, but maybe hidden.
Exactly. And that it's already occurring on different scales, but it will become openly discussed, like you said it before, a rising tide of disruption.
It gets even more specific, doesn't it?
It does. The visions name railway rolling stock and tracks rails as deliberate targets.
Sabotaging railways.
And chillingly, it predicts small drones will be the tools used for this sabotage.
Small drones. Wow, that feels very current.
Very. And the targets aren't just industrial. They extend to cultural and public places. It paints a picture of a widespread campaign aimed at destabilization.
A campaign with an ultimate goal. Does the source suggest why?
Well, the unsettling suggestion is that the goal behind all this escalating sabotage might be to actually trigger a state of emergency in Poland.
A state of emergency.
Oh,
Okay, that's a really comprehensive vision of, well, internal destabilization.
It is. And these acts, these predicted sabotages, they raise the question, how do they fit into the bigger picture, the geopolitical one?
Right. Does the source connect those dots?
It does. It talks about two great forces of influence, and they're apparently in a final push for dominance over Poland.
Two forces. Who are they?
One is described as Western-oriented, pointing towards Europe. The other is, interesting phrasing, towards the Middle East or across the Atlantic Ocean.
Across the Atlantic. So maybe the U.S.? Or maybe something else entirely?
It's not explicitly named beyond that description, but there's a specific note, don't look eastward.
Okay, so not Russia, according to this vision. So these two forces are competing.
And the prediction is that this division won't last. One side will lose. And interestingly, the vision suggests the two more distant powers, Middle East or across the Atlantic, have greater opportunities than the Western European one.
That's a huge geopolitical shift being predicted there. And you mentioned a link to the sabotage.
Yes, the clairvoyant suggests these sabotages, this internal chaos we talked about, might actually be connected to these bigger power struggles.
So the internal problems are maybe a symptom or a tool of these external influences.
That seems to be the implication in the vision, yeah. But looking even further ahead, there's one more really significant sort of long-term prediction.
Okay, what's the final big vision here?
It culminates in the idea of a Polish-Ukrainian union.
A union, like merging the countries.
The source describes it as a Polish-Ukrainian union, or maybe a two-state entity that merges. It sounds like it would look separate on the surface, perhaps?
But function as a union.
Clearly function as a union. Yes, that's the description.
Is this presented as a positive thing?
Well, there's a very significant warning attached.
Oh.
If Poland agrees, meaning the government, president, Sejm, Senate all agree, the source calls it a trap.
A trap? Why?
It says it will put Poland in pincers, making it hard to get out later because of strange conditions. That imagery, trap and pincers, really conveys a deep sense of apprehension, maybe about losing sovereignty or getting tangled in something inescapable.
That's strong language. Are there any predicted consequences mentioned?
One specific consequence mentioned is permanent border controls between Germany and Poland.
Permanent border controls because of this union.
Apparently arising because Poland gets entangled in this reconciliation, as the source also calls it. It really underlines a potential fear about losing autonomy, getting caught up in complex geopolitics.
Wow. Okay. That is a lot to take in, from political coups almost to industrial sabotage, global power shifts, and then this new union idea with its warnings.
It's a very wide scope.
And amidst all that, all these huge unsettling predictions, the source just drops in a little note about the weather, right?
Yes. Just a quick observation about Poland's current mid-July weather. Mentions a cold spring and now a summer of rainstorms, intermittent sun.
A little anchor to present reality, maybe, in all this future gazing.
Perhaps. It certainly raises a big question, though. How do we even process such, diverse and dramatic claims? What can they tell us? Not about the future necessarily, but maybe about present anxieties or perceived trends.
That's the key question, isn't it?
It highlights how complex things are and how important critical thinking is when you encounter these big, interconnected predictions. It's about trying to see the underlying currents, not just taking the surface predictions at face value.
Absolutely. So thinking about everything we've unpacked today for you listening, what really stands out?
Yeah.
What feels like the most maybe compelling or perhaps concerning insight from this particular deep dive? How do these visions challenge or maybe even confirm your own ideas about where things are heading globally? Lots to think about there.